All right, if you're not a sponsor, go ahead and grab a seat because we're going to get this thing started. Sponsors, you guys are in the perfect spot lined up in the front. But if you're standing anywhere else in this room, we need you to grab a seat. If you don't have a seat, there are enough seats, but there's plenty of seats upstairs. And there are stairs right behind this stage. You can follow those stairs upstairs and grab a seat if you need one. We're going to get this thing started, though. Dave, you ready? You guys good to go? All right. All right, all right, all right. If you can hear me, clap twice. If you can hear me, clap 3 times. If you can hear me, clap 3 more times. If you're still talking, please stop because we're going to get this thing started. How you guys doing today? You guys doing well? If you are, make some noise. And then stop making noise. All right. It's like the dumbest thing when I'm like, all right, be quiet, now make noise. Oh, shit. All right, we're going to get this thing going, and we're going to go deep today. So I'm not going to wait on a lot of people. There's a lot of people jumping on Zoom, and transparently, this session, I'd love to get a little bit more from the audience because the 2 of them are going to go deep in whatever direction you guys want to talk about. So I've got some questions for them, but transparently, we want to ask your questions. So in a minute, I'm going to ask you guys may want to take a second and just collect some thoughts on what do you actually want to learn today? What do you want to hear from these people? Because I'm going to ask you in about, 10 minutes or so. Welcome, everybody, to Masterclass Orlando, though. How many of you guys have been here before? If you have, make some noise. This is our 42nd session, and what's cool about it is this all started as a small idea of like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if instead of just throwing a few parties a year for the top 500 and having everyone wonder how they could join, we would just have the top 500 get on stage and actually teach what they're doing so people could hit the top 500? Like, wouldn't that be cool? And wouldn't it be cool if it had no brokerage affiliation, no board affiliation, no political affiliation, no ulterior motive, nothing to recruit you for, nothing to sell you, nothing along those lines? It wasn't some fake mastermind that like used everyone's name to pitch you something else. It was actually something that got the people up to just ask what the hell they're doing. And so we started this thing 42 sessions ago. Whoops. Mic drop. Amen. Whoever the ghost of Harry Buffalo knows what's up. So we started this thing a little over 4 years ago. And like I said, this is our 42nd session. We do this 11 months of the year. I think we only did 7 the first year because we launched in like May. But there are about 80 sponsors, all their logos actually come up at one point, who support Orlando Real Producers. And if you don't know what Orlando Real Producers is, I don't know how you got here, but it's basically a publication and a group for the top 500 agents. We run this every single month to have them teach everybody. And we've spread from just being the 6th or 7th city here in Orlando to now we're in 109 markets. And we got all sorts of people copying Masterclass because y'all do so well. So give yourselves a round of applause. So there are, 10 or 11 sponsors that stepped up to make today happen. I'm going to let each of them take a minute. Transparently, a minute's not a long time. So here's what I'd love from you guys. If you guys are excited to learn something today and you get anything out of today's session, how many of you guys can promise that you'll reach out to, like, and friend at least 1 or 2 of the sponsors that speak? If you can, say, oh, yeah? Super easy. So I'm going to give each of them a minute. Make sure you follow them. All their logos come up. And here's one thing I want to make sure I don't forget to plug. We're going to be giving a ton of stuff away. How do you win? All you have to do is post pictures of either these sponsors or this room, or a selfie of you with people, and hashtag Masterclass Orlando. You have to spell it right, though. If you don't spell it right, you're not going to win. We're going to find you on all the social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, whatever you want to put it on, hashtag Masterclass Orlando. We'll give out, Bryce is going to kill me, but we'll probably give out 6 tickets to the Winter Park Wine Walk, and we'll give out a bunch of Real Producer swag. So not 6 to 1 person, 6 different people. So make sure you post a ton of shit, and thank you guys for coming out. Quickly pull out your phones right now. Oh, actually, it's not live. I'll make it live in a minute. But masterclassorlando.com in a few minutes, when you see these screens turn back on, because they're going to go off, so I fixed this. Masterclassorlando.com will plug next month. Here's what we're doing next month. April 21st, we're doing a team builder mastermind. We are not having a panel at all. This room is going to be loaded with producing team leaders. There's going to be 30, 40, 50. When you see the flyer come out, it's going to have like 27, 30 people on it because they're going to be spread all over the room, and we're going to literally be crowdsourcing the collective wisdom of all the best team leaders in the real estate community. Anyone excited about doing that? If you are, say, oh yeah, or make some noise. That's April 21st, right back here. It'll go live soon, and the first 100 tickets will be free, and then we'll take $10 a person for a charity, so make sure that y'all are the ones that get the free ones. This month, we raised over $1,000 for Pet Alliance. Give yourself a round of applause. I don't know how much money I have to check, and I'm done talking. Let's bring the sponsors up. So let's go first with the man himself, came all the way from Texas, Brandon Blake with the staging company. Give him a round of applause.
You turned it off. Hey, guys, it's good to be here. Real quick, wanted to go first because it's my son's birthday, not just St. Patrick's Day, so I got to rush home to Texas to take him to dinner. But happy to be here with you guys. I think total elapsed time in Florida over the last year is 3 weeks, and I've already built really, really great friendships with a few of you, and it's a great group of people, so really happy to be here. Wanted to remind you, yes, we're the staging company. We've got the $10,000 challenge going on. If you represent short-term rental investors, we can decorate that rental for you. We do staging, we do interior design, we do all the things. If you have a need and it involves furniture, we can figure out how to get it done for you. So reach out. I'm on Facebook, Instagram. Our team is all over Instagram. So reach out. Look forward to meeting more of you.
Good morning, Masterclass. How's everybody doing? Happy St. Patty's, right? Let's do a 1, 2, 3 clap for Aaron. 1, 2, 3. I love this. Heather Hurry, pillar to post the Jeff Mackey team, home inspections. Yes, it can be fun. Can you tell? So listen, there's lots of things going on right now in the market, but one thing you do need to have is a good partner, right? You have to have a good partner that you know, like, and trust. And beyond that, someone that's going to seal the deal, not kill the deal. So if you want more information on that, of course, I'll be to stage left. Vic's coming up behind me, so get your phones ready. And everybody have a great masterclass, okay? Thanks.
Get your phones ready. When am I going to fall off the stage? First of all, St. Patrick's Day today. It's awesome. And then next month, it's 420 plus 1. Aaron, you're a genius. Good timing.
Hey, my birthday's 4/20 the 2nd.
Yeah, it's by design, I'm sure. So thank you guys for your support with my father. Some of you guys in social media, thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. We're here to talk about social content. DeVore Design can help you with social content. We just got a photo studio in downtown Orlando. We've been filming customers doing client testimonials. So if you guys are interested in creating content for social media, please let me know. I'm sitting right back there. And I should have worn green today, but you guys all did. So I got to take a selfie with everybody, and I'm going to try to get the upper deck up there because I always get shit that I don't get them in the shots. Thank you, guys. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Let's hear it for St. Patty's Day. All right. Love you guys.
Good morning, everyone. Jody, Celebration Title Group. So we're your favorite title company. We do real estate closings, but we're so much more than that. We believe that buying and selling a home is a big deal, and every moment should be celebrated. We are a true extension of your business. We like to find out your why, your purpose, what gets you up in the morning, how you generate your leads, what you do on social media, and how we can really partner with you to be your best both personally and professionally. So I do want to touch on, we just had our first crypto closing. If you guys are interested in learning more about crypto, we are doing a workshop on the 29th on Zoom with Amanda. Please check us out at Celebration Title Group / events. We'd love to see you all. Have a great masterclass, and we're super grateful for each of you.
All right, let's keep this rolling because we've only got a few minutes.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Dan Pacheco. I am not Shay Walker, but I am representing Shay Walker Photography today, okay? So Shay Walker is the best branding photographer that I or my agents have ever worked with, all right? I've been very thankful to have been a part of her business development over the last 2 years. We've done some insights and see what she's actually done with her business. We've seen that if you use one of her photos, okay, on your social media or marketing, you're gonna get about a 320% increase in your engagement. That's tremendous, okay? And she's also literally the most referred branding photographer in Central Florida. She created something called the Vibe Session. So what I want you to do right now is to pull all of your phones and go to Instagram, Shay Walker Photo, and check out what a Vibe Session is and book it for yourself. Now, before I go, I love numbers. I love data. For those of you that know me, know what I'm about to say. I checked with Aura today. Do you know how many agents there are in Orlando alone? 96.7 billion, okay? You deserve to stand out, and so does your marketing, your photos. Shay Walker is the one to do that for you guys, all right? Have a wonderful day.
All right. And real quick, I want to give a quick plug to two people that are not able to be here today. Can we give a 1, 2, 3 clap to Steve Bell, Harding Bell International? It's almost April 15th, which means it's tax time. How many of you guys have not done your taxes? Raise your hand. You all need to call Steve Bell. That's about it. His slide's going to come up. Take a picture. Make sure you find him. We're going to give him a 1, 2, 3 clap on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's bring up Dayve Buckles.
What's up? Good morning. While you guys have your phones out, let's connect on Instagram. For all you realtors, I'm your favorite cash buyer. My name's David Buckles. I own Reliant Home Offer, and we're just a local real estate investment company, and we specialize in fix and flips and creative finance. So when you walk into those houses and you cringe a little bit, you want to have my number. I'm the buyer for that house. And this week alone, we've actually had 3 appointments already with people in foreclosure. And so what we're doing with them is we're catching them up on their arrears, putting some money in their pockets, taking over their payments, and sending them on their way. So if you guys ever run into any of these issues here coming up, remember me, David Buckles, Reliant Home Offer. Thank you.
All right.
Hello? All right, I'm Cameron Foster with Old Republic Home Warranty. So I have something to read to you. 77% of homeowners face unexpected repair costs in the first year of their home ownership. And over 65% of those have claims of over $1,000. So now, more than ever, is the best time to get a home warranty for your clients. If your clients close without a warranty, remember at Old Republic, they still have 30 days after closing to purchase a plan. Feel free to reach out to me, and I'd love to help you out. Thank you.
All right.
Too short for this stage.
It's all good. It's all good.
Hello, good morning. Now, I am not me unless I take a video for Instagram. Good morning, Masterclass Orlando. My name is Samantha. I'm a business development manager for the home team of Round Point Mortgage. As you guys know, we have the home loans. You guys know what types of loans are available out there, but we actually are getting a couple of cool loan programs next month. So feel free to schedule a one-on-one with me. I'll grab a cup of coffee, mimosa, lunch, whatever you guys want. And follow me on Instagram, Samantha_home loans. I can help you guys with your reels, IG marketing, all that good stuff. Thank you guys so much and enjoy this wonderful class.
All right. All right, and I'm going to give a quick shout out to Jocelyn. She's an amazing photographer as well. She's one of the supporting sponsors. You got Tammy with HWA, Title Genius, and Dan somewhere here with CFBI, Certified Building Inspectors. They help us out each and every time. Hope with RTR Title will probably show up at some point. We'll plug her if she gets the chance. But we're going to get this thing started and bring up our panelists. You guys ready to learn something? If you are, make some noise. So here's how this is going to work. I want to know what you guys want to get from these panels. So I'm going to bring them up, but then I need you guys, I'm going to need at least 4 people who will go around the room really, and we're going to do it in like 30 seconds. I want to hear 4 people shout out what the number one thing that you want to get out of today is after I bring them up so we can make sure we actually get what you want to get out of today. Is that cool? If it is, say, oh, yeah? All right, let's get this thing started. Ken Pozek has been in the real estate business in one way or another since the age of 18, which has been like a few years. No, I'm just kidding. Starting out as an investor and appraiser in Detroit, he looks like it though. Starting out as an investor and appraiser in Detroit, Michigan. After building a successful real estate team, Ken and his family picked up and relocated to Orlando. Get this, you guys ready? They relocated to Orlando in 2016. That's only 6 years ago. Since then, he's rebuilt his business. He's focused on video, direct mail, and agent referrals in I don't care about 2019. Let me tell you what they did last year. In 2021, he now has 21 people on his team. They sold $129 million last year. And check out what he's at for the year already and closed and pending year to date. He's already at $88 million for 2022. Has 24,000 plus people on YouTube. Just had a video do 1 million views on YouTube. And I'm going to just bring him up. Ken Pozek with Keller Williams, the Pozek group at Keller Williams. Give him a round of applause. Make sure you follow him on YouTube. Orlando Real, right? All right. Tiffany Pantozzi has an unstoppable reputation as a visionary marketing expert, fierce negotiator, informed influencer, and gutsy client advocate. Also, great bio. Leading the team in Aligned Real Estate, she's recognized in the top 1% of Central Florida agents. Her network of elite professionals spans 40 U.S. luxury markets. She's been featured in publications like Forbes, The Wall Street Journal, People Magazine, LA Times, Fox Business, and Orlando Real Producers Magazine. Just saying. Yahoo Finance calls her one of the top 5 realtors, female realtors in Florida. She's been ranked in the top 220,000 plus agents. But if we ranked her entire team, she'd be easily in the top, 40 or 50. And long story short, last year, she marketed one of the most famous properties in Central Florida, Shaquille O'Neal's home, which is awesome. I'm going to skip a few of these things, but she has an amazing background in sports and client relations and dealing with sports management, different products, apparel, all this stuff. But long story short, she sold over $44 million last year. Let's give a giant round of applause coming from Miami, Tiffany Pantozzi. All right, I got 4 go to chime in. What do you want to get out of today? Raise your hand. We're going to do this really fast. Raise your hand. What do you want to make sure we cover? Let's go, 4 of you. Yeah, right there.
How long it took to get consistent leads with your YouTube?
How long it took to get it going and get leads. What else? 3 more people. That's it. That's all we need. Anyone? Anyone? Yep. How to build the engagement. Who else?
How to overcome camera fear.
Overcoming camera fear.
What platforms fail and how you progress and pick one that delivers.
Or how to pick which platforms to do or not to do. Let's just call it that. What else?
What apps do you use?
What apps do you use? Anyone else? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Don't tell me you didn't get what you wanted today. What?
What does your daily schedule look like?
Daily schedule?
How do you overcome competitive offers?
Love it. By the way, here's a quick tip for you guys. Any of those questions, if you want to jot them down, you're walking around, you want to actually hand them to me and make sure I don't skip them. Or you can try to text it to us or Facebook message it to me. But chances are I will definitely look at your paper. I might not look at Facebook. My phone might go crazy. But let's get this thing started. All right, here's what I want to ask you guys is how you started with video and what it looks like now. Let's go with that. Who took the mics? Sponsors? No, I'm kidding. All right, I just looked up. It's like they're all over here. I appreciate you guys leaving them over here, but let's do this. You probably want one of those. You probably want one of those. They might be off. The switch is on the bottom.
Hello?
That's better.
All right, let's start with you, Ken, since you sound great on there. How did you get started? What's the video stuff look like right now? And then tell us about your daily schedule, and then we'll continue.
Cool. So when I first moved here, I didn't know an sphere, I didn't have anything. So I was buying like Zillow Leads and like a lot of the things that normal agents do, right? They spend money to get leads. And so eventually I was like, I can't keep doing that with like actually wanting to be profitable because things were getting really, really expensive. So I was like, what can I do? So I had a friend of mine in Jacksonville who was like, I'm doing this YouTube thing and I'm getting some leads from time to time. I was like, no shit. Like, that's crazy. People call you from YouTube. And they're like, social media, go figure. And so we started doing just home tours for the first couple of years. And so that's probably not how I would start again, whoever asked that question. But fast forward to today, we've got 24,000 subscribers, and we get probably, 10 to 20 people a day that reach out to us directly in one way or the other. And so it's a big piece of our business, and it solidifies everything else. So if you're looking to get more agent referrals, more database referrals, leads directly, there's like so many things that it actually does for your business beyond just people reaching out to you directly if you leverage it properly. In terms of my schedule, so I think the biggest thing in all of content and strategy is being very consistent. And so I think that's where most agents fail, is that they post and then they forget, or they start getting leads and then they stop posting because they're too busy like actually doing the business. Have you ever been there? Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's tough. And so, so for us, every Thursday we shoot from 8:30 to 12. We shoot YouTube channel, and then we've got people on staff that are phenomenal that are also helping us chop it up to keep our other brand, our sister like media company, rolling. And then we have sort of a weekly email that goes out to our entire database. So we can dig into that more, but really it's just the consistency, I think, more than anything for us.
I love it. I have like even questions for Ken, you know, because we can all learn from each other. Like even though I might have a recipe that is working for me, like he does it quite differently, but it still works for him, right? So it's about finding what works for you, and just because I say something is great doesn't mean it's going to work for you. I have a similar story in the sense that I did come to Central Florida in 2010, not from here, didn't grow up here, didn't know anybody here. So to build my real estate business, I really had to build it from scratch. And I definitely contribute the growth that I had in such a quick period of time due to my social media, right? I didn't have any deals, I didn't have any listings, I literally had nada, but I looked like I did on social media. I was on Instagram doing house tours, right? And I would literally have my phone and my gimbal, and I'd do a house tour at an open house that I was hosting on somebody else's listing. I never had to say, this is my listing. I was just sharing the information, right? And I was consistently posting all the time, and people started to notice. I looked like, listen, I'm a serious professional, I'm full-time, and I have knowledge that I'm sharing, right? So I was able to start by doing that, and I literally, again, my phone, my gimbal, and free apps that were editing apps. And that's how I got started. Now, to give you a little bit more background though, I do have a background in entertainment. So am I comfortable in front of the camera? Yes. I also have the personality where I'm comfortable, right? And I understand that's not something that comes naturally to everybody, and that's probably what holds you back primarily, right? Is the maybe not having that confidence. And you can work on that, and we can talk about some of those things that you can do for that. But yeah, so I mean, I used to actually cheer for the NFL and dance for the NBA, so yes, I'm comfortable in front of the camera, but there's a lot of tips and tricks that I use that I still get nervous. I'm like, damn, I'm gonna mess up what I have to say. And it's interesting because I think that I actually like to write scripts, and I'll use a teleprompter, but I think you just roll with it. Yeah, you don't use scripts, right? So different style works for me, works for him, right? Whatever's gonna work for you to get you comfortable, to get you in front of that camera. So we could digress on some of those points that I just made. But in terms of scheduling, I try definitely monthly to create content days, whether it's a photo shoot day and a video day, right? Because I know us ladies, it's a little bit harder than these guys, you know, because we have to do the hair and the makeup and all the things and pick the outfits.
I did my hair today.
Oh, did you?
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
So for us, it's like I actually will hire a makeup artist and a hairstylist to get that done in the day, and then I'm gonna make sure I get as many pictures and videos done that day with as many outfits, because I don't want to do that all again, you know. So it does take effort, time, and an investment in yourself, but that's what's necessary to create the quality content, right? So I don't do a weekly content creation, which that's a goal because I should be doing weekly, but business is hard, right? You're so busy. So I at least do monthly content days where I will create like 2 videos at least to be able to post, because you got to post consistently, and also do photography. So that's kind of like my schedule in regards to creating content.
Just realized I'm off. Tell me about what you do with, like how you batch it, and then how you disseminate that info. So if you're doing a monthly shoot and you're shooting all, how do they chop it? Like, give us a little bit of details of how you know how to chop it. How long are your videos? Is there one video per video, or is there like a preview and then a video? Like, does Instagram have a plugging to a full video? Like, tell me a little bit more about what you do with the content once you have it.
So we're predominantly YouTube based, and I think that if you're going to get into social media, like get into something that, like one thing first, and be really, really good at that, instead of trying to be on all apps and all channels. Would you agree?
100%.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's so easy.
Very overwhelming.
Yeah, it is. And like even if you're trying to use the same content across platforms, it can be tough to be really consistent with multiple. So like we do YouTube pretty much predominantly, and then I push people back to Instagram. So hey, if you want to follow me on my daily life, my daily journeys, stuff that you don't see here on YouTube, follow me over on Instagram. And as soon as I started cross-promoting, instead of just cross-posting, I went from 1,000 followers last year to almost 7,000 this morning, just from like talking about the difference, right? I'm sure you also mentioned on your Instagram, like, hey, go follow me on
You
on
have
YouTube.
to cross-promote yourself,
Sure,
absolutely.
Exactly. In terms of what we shoot, though, it's essentially, we're shooting 2 videos every Thursday, and then I can batch shoot for the future. I think that if you're going to take a thing away around consistency, it would be to batch shoot, because you're going to inevitably go on vacation. You're inevitably going to have that closing that goes over, and it's going to mess you up. And so we shoot 2, and we're kind of shooting. That gives me like 2 or 3 weeks in advance of content batched, so I don't have to worry about getting out this week in case I don't, if that makes sense. What do you do?
Well, it's quite impressive that you're able to stay consistent weekly and really, structure and say, I'm not doing anything else but shooting these videos. Because in order to truly grow on a platform, specifically like YouTube, in the way that Ken has grown, you have to be consistent. You have to be posting every week at a minimum, right? And that can be hard and expensive. And we should definitely talk back about, we're not always shooting ourselves, because we're investing quite heavily into our video production team, maybe some ads on YouTube and things like that, right? So whatever, we'll talk more about that.
For sure.
But so for apps, yes, I agree with him. You can't be on everything. I personally decided to, focus heavily on my Instagram, so where Ken started on his YouTube, I started focusing heavily on my Instagram, which I've grown to a really strong place. I get amazing engagement. But then for me, I believe, in my opinion, if there's one platform that's the strongest, I believe it's YouTube. And do we all know who owns YouTube? Google. So where do our buyers and sellers start their search? Google.
Zillow.
Oh,
Hey, actually,
fine.
wait,
Okay,
real
maybe.
quick. Speaking of that, I gotta plug one thing. This is like common sense to the 2 of you, but there are people in this room screwing it up, so I'm gonna make sure I plug it since we mentioned it. Because Google owns YouTube, where is the worst place to drop a YouTube link if you want engagement? What
Facebook.
website? Facebook. That's right. So if you are putting videos that are links to YouTube on Facebook, it hates that because you're sending traffic to its biggest competitor on another page. So I promise you, if you take that exact same video and you drop it straight to Facebook, you will get a ton more engagement. I just figured I'd plug that because someone here is screwing it up.
So again,
sure.
so think about it, Google, right? So when somebody's starting a search, let's just say I have a video about Windermere, and my video might pop up. And to show that proof that it does work, I literally just went under contract with a $3 million property yesterday from a client that found me strictly from YouTube. So we know this works because I know you get a ton of business from YouTube. So again, I did start on Instagram, but I do focus a lot on YouTube, and I'm investing in my content and everything. But for real, you're going to have to decide on what you want to focus on, because you can't be on everything.
Yeah.
But some people crush it on TikTok.
They do.
I mean, I repost some content on TikTok,
Yeah.
right? Because you kind of have to spread out a little bit. You don't want always the same stuff everywhere. But TikTok can get you some viral exposure. Have you gotten leads from TikTok?
Never. So
Me
I
neither.
had this one video go, I had like 400,000 views, and I was like, I gained 1,000 followers overnight, and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like, I'm gonna get into TikTok, and guess how many calls I got from that? None, yeah. And so I think, and let me ask you this, I'm not sure what you think, but this is kind of what I tend to believe, is that I feel like YouTube is a great place, and your database and your newsletter, your email newsletter, those are all places that you can generate business. Instagram and TikTok are kind of like warming up the relationship. Would you agree?
Well, on my Instagram, I actually do get a lot of leads through it.
Well, I need to go harder on Instagram.
So
then.
see, this is the thing, right? Instagram is that's my gold mine. We get leads all the time through Instagram. That's my number one way to drive business. And what's great is, again, I'm not paying for a Zillow lead. I'm not paying for these leads. And my favorite part about this social media marketing is what I call, it's attraction marketing, guys. You're putting your best self out there, and I'm trying to attract the kind of clientele I want. I'm not a really big cold lead person. I don't do cold calls. I don't do door knocking, because I have quite the unique personality, and I want to make sure somebody wants to work with me. They see my value. And life is hard, work is hard. We all work because we want to make money and do things that we want to do in life for our families and all that good stuff. So you want to at least be able to work with people that you like and would, value you and what you have to offer. So I think social media allows you to do that. But yes, for me, Instagram, it's my number one driver of leads, and YouTube. So
yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
So there's 2 things you said there. So I think you look at the Zillow leads. How many of you guys have ever bought Zillow leads or bought leads of any kind? Okay. So when you go after those, are those typically gushing over you to work with you immediately, or do you feel like you have to really earn their business and like do the whole 10 days of pain. Remember that? You have to call the people like a million times over 10 days, and hopefully they pick up the phone and don't cuss you out. Like, that's completely different when you're working with the social media piece. When they're reaching out to you and saying, like, listen, I've been following you for 2 years now, and now I'm ready to pull the trigger to buy or sell. That's such a big difference.
You've built trust.
You've built trust, exactly. And so you also
And you have
position yourself-
celebrity status because you're on TV.
Exactly.
They have a slight, bit of that where they're
for
like,
sure.
oh, this person's cool, they're on TV.
That's absolutely right.
But yeah, people actually do think you're on TV when you're on YouTube because they watch it from their TVs. So I think that, again, you have to find your platform, but right now, with video it's a powerful tool. And think about this too, guys. Every time you're out pitching somebody, even tools to use in your business, whether it's a new buyer consultation video, a listing video to prep a seller, all these things, like if you're able to create this content, it lives on. It works for you, right? When you're sleeping, it's working for you. Who knows who's watching it, right? So you put the effort in, you spend the time, the money, you make it really great, and then you put it out into the world, and it's going to live forever. So when I'm sleeping, it's working for me.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's right there is huge. I hate cold calling. I hate it. Joseph, do you love cold calling?
It's torture.
Yeah, so for me, think about that. As you're sleeping, you're getting thousands of views, thousands of people that are engaging with your brand.
All over the world.
All over the world, and you have to shoot that once and it's done.
Tell us
It's
about
huge.
what you're spending and who does the content and whatnot, and what type of equipment they have. Because the way that I see it is you essentially have salespeople working for you at all times, at all hours of the night. I'm up here if you're trying to look around, just so you know. Don't even bother trying to figure out where I'm at. But yeah, long story short is that you have people working for you all the time, essentially. What are you actually spending for each piece of marketing collateral? And then let's try to figure out what that is over the total of the pieces you have online. So what I'm trying to get at is what do you spend, who does it, and what equipment? And then let's talk about like how much you've actually created and like how many videos, how many things, that type of stuff.
Ooh, go ahead.
So over the past 4 years, we've created on YouTube 405 videos.
I love that he knows this number. Like, I don't know my number.
The first 120 or so were me and my cell phone and a gimbal, and it was just literally me walking around. And the first video that I did that actually got me anywhere was the top 10 things you don't know about Celebration, Florida. And it was literally just me walking around the town that I already knew a lot about. And so it was like, let's talk about the HOA fees. Let's talk about what you get, what you don't get. Can you do short-term rentals? Can you not, right? And it was a big shift in my mind because it was like, oh, instead of people caring about me, because listen, they don't care about you. Like they want to learn something from you. For free. And that's totally fine. And then, and so once you shift your mindset around that, so how much do we spend? We put 400 videos out. Originally it was free. Then I hired an editor for the next 100 videos. I was paying that person about $60 to $100.
Where'd you find the editor?
Upwork.
Okay,
so
great,
right down.
because I use Fiverr. But
Fiverr,
both great.
Upwork, yeah, you can find a VA anywhere in the world. And my suggestion to you would be shoot that video, send like 4 or 5 different editors the same video, and let them send you back the finished product, and you're kind of interviewing them. Like, see if they get your vision of what you want your videos to actually look like. And once you do that, you pick your person and go all in. So the next 100-ish videos, I did it with an editor. She lived in Nebraska, good, decent work.
So you would shoot them?
I would shoot them.
Casually, on your own, and then this editor would edit them for you and make them YouTube ready.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
Could you just repeat that one, not the whole thing, but just repeat one more time, because I think there was a golden nugget that sailed over half the heads and half of them got it.
Yeah.
One more time, how you give them the job, the first assignment.
So go to Upwork or Fiverr, and just type in video editing, right? YouTube video editing. And you're going to have hundreds of people in Bangladesh and Dallas, like everywhere, all over the world, and they're willing to do it for a fairly cheap price. I mean, think about getting a video edited for $50 or $100. It's pretty cheap. And that's going to live on YouTube forever. We still get leads today from videos we shot years ago. And so fast forward today, I have an awesome team that we have a contract with. So I think all in all, we spend about $100,000 on content a year right now. And last year, we brought in $1.4 million from YouTube. So it's a good ROI.
It's quite an investment. So you used to use that editor, but then you did hire a full-time guy.
Yeah.
Right? Full-time or once a week?
Yeah, once a week.
And how much did you spend on him weekly?
Currently, it's a contract. So essentially, like I said, between all of the content channels that we have, we're spending about $10,000 a month on content.
$10,000 a month. And then, but he's creating multiple videos for you, full editing, like everything.
Correct.
So are you coming up with all your, like what the topic is, what you're going to say, your talking points, all the things?
Yeah, for sure. So we're trying to figure out what is Google, like what are people already searching for, right? And so it's not like I want to shoot a video on 123 Main Street, I'm going to shoot that video and put it on YouTube. And I think that's where most agents go wrong, right? It's like literally using the title of the address.
Yeah.
How many people are actually searching for 123 Main Street?
No.
Nobody, right? But if they're shooting like custom home in downtown Windermere or new home in Windermere, those are things that people are actually searching for, and that's what your goal is, to get found organically that
And
way.
a trick,
Do you guys
so
have
do you
any
use
tools for that?
TubeBuddy?
Yeah, we use TubeBuddy, Morning Fame are the two that we use.
So here's tricks, right? TubeBuddy, that's a program, and Morning Tricks,
Morning Fame.
Morning Fame. Okay, those are two sites that'll help you figure out what are the best keywords, what is being searched, all of those sort of tricks, right?
Yep.
So those are two things that would help you guys in your,
Say those sites one more time for the people that weren't
So
ready.
like YouTube, but it's TubeBuddy. And we use that as kind of our money.
Pushing things on YouTube, but also when you're using other social platforms.
I'd love to know what you do on Instagram. How many?
Yes.
How many is a good amount of hashtags, and how do you make those?
Well, we do it dependent on the post. Like it's not always 30, you know. I mean, it depends on the post. There's always has to be hashtags that are related to the specific post you have, and then also related to your market and more generalized, maybe like trending hashtags. So you do a mix of those, but it's not like always 30. You know, I don't try to overdo it. Sometimes it'll only be 10. But location tagging is super important as well. You know, but the hashtags, you know, we definitely do use tools to search what are the trending tags. But then
What's your favorite tool?
tool for that? What's our favorite?
I got
tool?
one for you guys if you don't know it. DSPLR. It's called for display purposes only. You should write that down. It's called DSPLR. For display purposes only. Put it into Google. You'll find it. It has like a multicolored hashtag as their logo. It's like yellow and purple. And DSPLR, you type in 3 keywords, and it will spit out as many hashtags as you ask it to related, and you can either automatically pick, let's just say 30 or 10 or whatever the number you think is, or you could manually pick it, and it'll give you like 75 things related, and you'll pick your favorite 30 of them that make the most sense. That's for display purposes only, DSPLR.
So I'll share also some of what I'm spending and what I'm doing. But question, so do you do ads on YouTube?
Not at all. Never.
What? Ken, you're amazing. He's so good.
That was going to be my next question,
but,
so I
you know,
love it.
he's so consistent, and I'm telling you, consistency is definitely the key on YouTube, right? Like, what would you say is your key of what spiked you so much?
The consistency piece, right? Yeah, for sure. I mean, focusing on keywords and being consistent is the number two. Like, those are the two main things. And then focusing in on like watch time and clickability. So the two things that YouTube cares most about to figure out if they're going to push your video or not is going to be, do people click on the thumbnail, which is the little picture that you choose? Because they literally rank, you know, how many, I have 1,000 people we show this to, how many of them actually clicked on it, right? And the more people that click, the more like they think it's good. The second thing is watch time. So the question people always ask me, I think some people even mention, like, how long should our videos be? It's different from Instagram and TikTok versus YouTube. And so on YouTube, the answer is the longer the better, as long as people are still engaging. And they'll tell you what your average watch time is. And they rank you based on your past 10 to 50 videos. And so for us, we were like, we shot a 3-minute video. And then I noticed that like 75% of it was watched. Okay, great, we can push it. We did a 5-minute video, 75% was watched. We did a 12-minute video, 30% was watched. Okay, too long. Too long for my audience.
You did the research on
We
it.
did the research.
Quick question on what you just went over. How do you pick the thumbnail? Can you guys go over that? How you pick or how you create? Because I know you guys probably create cool thumbnails.
So we use PicMonkey. You can
we
use
do too.
Canva. You can use you could use Photoshop, really anything. But Canva and PicMonkey have a template built in there, so you can literally just click YouTube thumbnail. And then I look at what my competition's already done, and I try to do something different. So if you type in moving to Orlando and everybody's got the shot of Lake Eola, and that as their thumbnail, do something different. Stand out in the crowd, because you got to stop the scroll. That's your goal, is that as people are scrolling through and finishing up those thumbnails, that they're going to stop on your video and click, and that's the goal.
So do you do all your own posting, or do you hire somebody to post for you?
I still post everything myself.
You do?
Yeah.
Well, you really like labor of love, like really dug into knowing everything there is to know about YouTube, like
On
I
YouTube,
have on
yeah.
the Instagram
Yeah,
side,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because there's a lot. And so just like on Instagram, you were asking me, like with the hashtags, I mean, are there any tricks to posting to get better exposure for your videos?
By the way, speaking of posting, if you haven't yet posted something with the hashtag Masterclass Orlando, you should do that now while you have a chance to win some stuff, and we're
Time
talking
to win
about
some
it.
free stuff.
Keep going.
So
Sorry, I had to plug it.
for us, we found a flow. So YouTube, the amazing thing about YouTube is being that it's owned by Google, they give you an amazing amount of analytics. And so what I did was, after the first 20 to 30 videos, then they start seeing when is your audience actually engaging, and then we've chosen to post a few hours before that. And so for us, our audience, and this isn't going to be the same for everybody. This is going to be very specific to who's reaching out to you. But we found that Tuesday mornings and Saturday afternoons are our flow, and we just stay massively consistent with that.
Right. So you have to dig into the platform that you're deciding that you're going to dominate and really understand the analytics and understand your audience, right? I know on Instagram, when I post first thing in the morning, I'll get the best engagement throughout the day, right? So understand your audience, who's engaging with you, when are they engaging with you, what kind of content do they like the most? You know, listen, I understand we're real estate agents, we're not models and, you know, celebrity TV hosts, but that's the content that does the most, the best, right? People want to see your face. People like you. They want to hear from you, and that's why they're watching. That's why they're following. So show them, you know, show up for them.
Can we get some practical ways that people can get better on video?
Yeah,
Can
absolutely.
I ask you one question,
No.
and then you all go deep into that? I'm down here now, sorry.
Oh.
What other places do you use the video? Are you using video in text messaging and emails? Do you use things like BombBomb? Where else are these videos living other than social media? Or being used if they're not the same?
Right. So definitely on social media everywhere. We do have some content that we'll use in a presentation to a buyer or a seller that is created content. I haven't yet installed BombBomb or anything, but I know that it works. Do you work with that?
We use BombBomb a lot. Yeah,
So
constant
your
contact's
email
the other
all the
one.
time?
Yeah, email.
Text.
Email's huge, and then we do our weekly newsletter, which is really just a lot of it is articles that we write, but then it's also the video that we did of the week.
Mm-hmm.
So we're trying to get in front of our database. I talked about earlier, it's like, yeah, you're going to get leads from YouTube and Instagram, but what do you do with the people that you already have? You know, how do you, like, those people already know you. You don't have to try to impress them at that point. They're not trying to discover you. But staying in front of them consistently over time will then allow you to get more and more referrals. So we do a weekly newsletter. We use constant contact.
By the way, if you are going to use BombBomb, here's what I'm going to do. After this session, by next week, when Dave Stewart, which, by the way, can we give a round of applause for Dave Stewart and D Stewart Productions, who are doing all the live stream and all the video and fixing the mic problems with the venue and all that at all at the same time. When we email out the full video recording, I will put a link in there to our affiliate code with BombBomb. So if you want to support real producers, you can just sign up for BombBomb there, and it'll give a kickback to us to keep putting these events on and stuff like that. So let's keep going. Talk about where else. Actually, let's switch it up. You guys have anything else you want to say on that before I go?
I was just going to share, because I know that he
Keep
shared
going.
about creating. So I have two devices that I use quite often that I'll create content with myself, whether it's just literally the DJI handheld gimbal, and I'll put my phone into it, and I'll create content, or I'll have my marketing manager follow me around and create the content, because again, the quality of our iPhones is quite decent. You know, as long as you have the stabilization. And if you I have special audio mics that can connect to it to get better audio. So that's easy for me to shoot for free, essentially, and send to a Fiverr or one of these editors, and it's like $125 to edit up my video. That's nothing compared to the thousands that we pay per other video most of the time, right? So I use that quite often. I also always carry with me my DJI Go Pocket. It's like it's super tiny. You can see it right there. And that also creates really good quality content. So more of a vlogging style. And again, I'll create content. I'll get B-roll. Like, I know what I need. Like, I know I need a shot of this house. I need a shot of the entry of the community. I want a shot, whatever it is, right? I storyboard, so we can talk about that in a second. But, you know, I'll create these shots that I need. I'll go and get them, and then I'll send it off to the editor. So that's my quick, more vlog, more personal style that anybody in here can do for very low cost. So don't say that budget is slowing you down, because we all have phones in our hands, right? For sure. Budget should never slow you down because we have ways to get around it.
And
now,
by the way, if creativity is slowing you down and you feel like you're not as creative as Ken or Tiffany, hit up Dave Stewart with D Stewart Productions. He's super creative. He's an amazing performer, and he will actually help you with your content if that's not you. So I'm going to get that question 100 times, so I just figured I'm a plug that's the person I would talk to.
And then now on the flip side, I don't have a person on staff weekly, but I do have a few favorite different videographers that I use. I have 3 that I'll switch it up depending on who's available and what kind of product video I'm trying to shoot. Am I doing a listing feature? It might be one videographer. Am I doing a community feature or more of a vlog? It might be another. So, and these videos can run dependent on how long they are, what I'm shooting, how much editing I might want, $1,000 to $3,000 per video. So again, it depends on your videographer what they're going to charge. I'm sure you'd get a better deal if you had somebody like on staff that's consistent. But right now, I'm not so consistent weekly with making sure that I'm going to make the time for it. So I feel more comfortable just doing it on a monthly basis, on a per video basis. So I think that's important to you to realize, though, it costs money to make this good content, right? And the better your content, the more views that you're going to get. So that's something that's really important. But I storyboard. I just want to tell you guys. So when you think about everybody's sitting there, what am I going to put on video? What am I going to do? First of all, okay, you could get so much inspiration from just looking at other people's videos. By no means am I saying go and copy everything that they're doing, but you can absolutely get inspiration and create your own idea. Like, hey, you want to do a video about downtown Orlando? Great, make your own video about downtown Orlando. And look at mine, look at his, look at all the other people that have done it.
Because there's going to be people that get attracted more to me or you or you, depending on what you've talked about in your backstory,
right.
How you look, unfortunately, sometimes, or they're going to be more attracted to you one way or the other if you're more like them. So, yeah, go ahead.
And I'm a rambler, so I have to storyboard because, I'll get in front of the camera and I might be comfortable, but I'll just start blah, 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 and then that's way too long for the video, right? I got to cut to the chase. You want to make sure that you're really hitting on some really good talking points because you want to keep the attention of the viewer, and then you also want calls to action at the end, right, which we always do. Get them to call you. Let them know that you're a local professional, all these things. So I will write down a storyboard of, okay, this is the intro I want to nail. These are some of the talking points I want. These are the places I definitely need to get B-roll. This is how I want to close. So I'll have that. Now, most of the time, I am just kind of winging it in the camera, but there are certain things that, depending on the video, where I actually I want to nail exactly what I want to say. So I will have one of my girls holding an iPad with a free teleprompter app. They're free. The iPad or even my phone sometimes, and I'll just stand there and knock it out. And it gets done quicker, and I feel more confident about it because I know I nailed it. Again, you're spending, a few $1,000s to get this videographer there to shoot you. Don't mess up, because if you hate the video later, you just wasted a bunch of time and money, right? So prepare yourself. If you're somebody that's maybe not as comfortable, go prepared, right? So we storyboard. We have some of these things that will help us to make sure that we're executing and making sure we're going to be very happy with the video after.
Yeah, we do something similar. So we do essentially when we're planning out a video, we're figuring out who's my intended target. I want to talk one-to-one to somebody. I'm not trying to talk to everybody in the world. And so what is it that they're trying to accomplish by watching our video? And so the intro, I think this is really important. I feel like many agents, we want to hurry up and tell the world about us first before giving any value. So Gary Vaynerchuk has this great book, Jab, 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 Right Hook, which is essentially give tons of value, and then at the end you ask for the actual business. So when you're starting your videos out, our intro is never like, hey, this is Ken Pozek with Keller Williams, and I've been doing real estate for the past 25 years, and I sold 400 houses last year, and blah, 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 right? And unfortunately, that's what a lot of agents do. But we talked about earlier, YouTube really cares about watch time. And so if people start watching your video and they're like, I don't want to listen to an agent talk, and they click off after 10 seconds, you've now taught YouTube that your video is not good. So we start with our intro. What's our hook that we're going to bring people in? And then we typically hit 4 or 5 points around the way, and then the outro, and that's where we ask for the business.
Right, so you have a structure. He does have a structure, and you'll see if you watch his videos or our videos, there's somewhat of a structure there to, again, catch the attention and have a call to action at the end. So that's very important. And again, even if you're using your iPhone, you can have your little teleprompter app, put the script in of what you want to say, start getting comfortable. Get one of those $10 holders that stands in front of you, and go and press play and go and stand, and it's recording, you're reading, boom, you got it. You got some content, right? So there's so many different tricks of course, we're in a much different place of comfort in front of the camera after all of our experience. But anybody in this room can absolutely do that, and these are the little tricks that make you more comfortable to get, start talking in front of the camera.
Yeah, I've got this little trick. Can I teach somebody something?
Yeah,
Is that
please.
Okay? Blake, why don't you come over here?
Tell us all your tricks, Ken.
Okay. So this is Blake Potts. He's an agent on our team. Give it up for him for a second. All right, so Blake, I want you to talk about everything you know. You need to teach these people about calculus.
That would be a fail, because I dropped out of college and failed calculus.
We're doing a video right now. You're on video. Come on, hurry up.
Math related in some way, shape, or form. That's about all I got for you.
Now, talk to me about why you love your wife.
She's amazing, best friend. We're friends. Like, she's the best. Beautiful. I mean,
Where'd you guys meet?
High school.
So do you guys feel how like he was instantly more comfortable talking about his wife than he was about calculus, which he knew nothing about? Yeah? And so you guys know about real estate. You know about, thank you, Blake, by the way. That's you, right? It's like if you're trying to go into a new area and you're trying to talk about downtown Orlando, like don't just wing it, right?
No.
Storyboard, get figuring out what you're going to say, and then you're just going to be so much more comfortable when that light turns on. And so start with what you know. Start with that piece first, and then work into other things.
I love that, because maybe, again, you're not so comfortable rolling out the stats. Like, you're a stat guy.
I am.
You are a research guy, and I know it, because I see your stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, he's just rolling off these stats. And I know he's doing it naturally without a teleprompter, right? I get uncomfortable just rolling out stats. Like, I might know the information, but like when I'm on camera, sometimes I get nervous, and I don't want to freaking take 5 times, right? So I might want to have those notes in front of me. So do what works for you, but even so, maybe you're uncomfortable with that. So just share about your favorite things about downtown Orlando or whatever your market is. You have to know a little bit about it if you're selling real estate there, right? So share the basics as to why you love it, and just be casual with the conversation, and slowly you'll get more and more comfortable. One of the things I was curious, like somebody said recently, and I don't know, how many people in this room are in real estate only maybe 1 year? Is there any newer agents? Okay. So right now is a great time for you, because I can remember when I had the time. Okay, when I first started in real estate, I didn't have a lot of deals, but I had time. So I made it look like I had a lot of deals, and I was super busy. But you have the time to really dig into a platform, to building content, to learning and becoming, really working on that craft, right? To becoming an expert in that and building. And again, the reason our YouTubes and social media does so well is because of the compounding effect of what we've been doing since we started in real estate 5-6 years ago. Both of us, I think, started here in Central Florida around the same time, right? 5-6 years ago. So, and that's because, again, we've consistently been putting effort and time into it. But I wish I had more time these days, because I have all these ideas sometimes and I just cannot execute. So if you have the time, like, definitely schedule it to make sure that you're able to build on this, because I promise you it'll pay off 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, because those videos will live forever.
Yep. Before Aaron kicks us off the stage.
I'm not, don't worry.
Okay.
I just have a few questions.
Okay, cool. So I've got essentially like 4 things that I think where I think people fail and or can succeed in the content creation game, and I would love to hear what you think about this. Mm-hmm. So number 1, like you have to figure out what's your medium and how does it work, right? Like, is it going to be YouTube? Is it going to be Instagram? And like becoming a student of that. Like that's one. Like that's what you're learning today. Very high level, right? But then number 2 is consistency. Like once you figure it out, it's actually like going to do the thing and then being massively consistent. Number 3 would be like the lead piece, right? If you're going to get these leads that actually come in, like you actually have to know how to do lead generation and like work them, actually get them to close, having a system to work these people long term. Brianna on our team, she just closed somebody that came in a year ago, and it was like having that system in place is the only way that we were able from YouTube. Yeah.
Can we talk about specifically when they're coming in, how are you separating your brand versus your team, and what contact info goes where, and where's your cell phone number versus not your cell phone number? Talk a little bit about that, because as you guys build your brands, I'm guessing they're not always calling your cell phone, and they mostly expect you and get your team or whatnot, or how do you handle all that?
Yeah, and so the last piece I was going to talk about is the team, so leverage piece. So as you grow, you're going to have so many leads kind of coming in. Being able to keep that circle going of being consistent with your content, having the leverage. So whether that's a TC, helps you get the paperwork off, or agents. And so for us now, we have a team of over 20 folks. Some of them are here and up here. Thank you guys for coming. They are actually like what the magic actually is, because they get to love on the clients and then sort of allow us to keep doing what we do. So right now, I don't put my cell phone number on anything, and I would suggest even if you're a brand new agent starting with content, don't put your cell phone on anything. Find a Google number or a CallFire number or some sort of system that you can track the calls. I still, unfortunately, the first 3 years I was doing YouTube.
I made the mistake. My personal cell number is ruined.
Yeah, and so you get texts at 1 in the morning. I found you on YouTube, and I'm looking to buy a house. I'm like, this is
1
awesome.
in the morning.
Yeah. So that's where I would start. So right now our system works like this. People see the video. We have an email and a phone number that goes into our ISA department. And that person says, hey, where are you looking right now? Are you looking to move to Lake Nona, Windermere? What does it look like? You know who Ken, I think, would want you to work with? Is Joseph. Because Joseph knows the downtown market like anyone else. And you're going to absolutely love working with him. By the way, Ken did a video with him as like sort of an intro. So we have a triangle of trust there. And we can pass that off a really, really warm lead. So that's how we currently operate.
I love that because, again, when you're putting yourself out there, most of the time they want to hire you, right? But I love how you do that in a nice way where you have a video where they can see the person, they can see you interacting with the person, so it's a real thing, and give them the comfort. Have you ever had pushback, though? Like, no, I only want Ken.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
And I think that eventually you get to the place where your time is going to be better spent either building the team, working on more content, being consistently there, instead of what most agents do is they just go run after the leads, and then their whole pipeline dries up because they stop doing content.
Right, exactly, which is it's so important to keep putting content out. And I want to get back to content and what kind of content, because I have a question about, like, once you feel like you've done every market, what are you doing, right? But, I think that the content piece, I mean, you could come up with content all day long, but what we do is, we will take the lead in, and the goal is to always put it into our CRM, our follow-up boss, right? And we have certain triggers in there that will tell us to do certain things. I've never been so consistent.
What are they?
Huh?
What are those triggers?
Well, like, drips and things that will tell us, okay, to follow up or to call them or to send them an email introducing ourselves, sending more information, asking, questionnaires that we have that we use through jot forms to get more information and validate the lead a little bit more, qualify the lead a little bit more. So, those are the things that we do. I definitely haven't come across an issue just yet through YouTube where people are like, no, I only want Tiffany, not the other person. But I do the one on the ones that I have passed off even from Instagram. I just say, hey, one of my partners is going to work with us on this. I'll still be involved, but they're going to take lead on your search and, getting you all the information. So I let them feel that I'm still involved and I'm not totally passing them off. But it can be a tricky thing at times because people are wanting you. But it's not scalable, right? You have to be the rainmaker and be able to pass things off. With a CRM, of course, it's so easy to reassign a lead, and that's a super easy thing.
Let me switch directions with you guys because this is all super, super, super useful. A question I'm getting from a lot of people. Let's talk about your annual investment, about how much is actually being spent per year on the video production. I'll start with you, Ken. And what I also want to ask, do either of you have ad or any revenue or sponsors that are actually paying to be a part of the stuff you're producing?
Yeah, like I mentioned last year, I think we spent about $100,000 on content. And so I just turned on monetization because YouTube is going to put an ad on your video whether you like it or not at this point. So they're pushing ads really, really hard. So I held out for as long as I could to not have ads on my videos. But now I'm like, okay, well, either I'm going to get paid for it or not. And so I make about $1,000 a month from YouTube, and we get about 200,000 views a month. So not like crushing it, but it helps offset some of the content.
Mm-hmm. Love it. How about you, Tiffany?
Yeah, well, I think that with video, probably about 30,000 that we've spent on professionals and what the video production. And then, we will do some ads and things on Instagram or on YouTube, so we'll do that as well. Overall, you have to have a hefty marketing budget, like 50 plus a year at a minimum for what we do.
Most of these people are spending on Zillow anyway, right?
Well, that's exactly right. So either and here's the thing, you're either going to spend money on Zillow, and as soon as you stop paying Zillow money, the leads stop coming in. Funny how that works, right? Mm-hmm. As soon as you shoot content, though, and you put it up there, that stuff lives for years, and so that's the main power. You're building an asset versus buying a commodity.
Let's ask about that. How long do you know? How do you know when you're on the right track or when you're not on the right track? What metrics are you using? How did you know you were doing things right before, it actually? Because it takes a while to get there. How do you know if you're doing it right or wrong in the beginning or as you go?
I mean, the organic engagement, right? I mean, you're seeing the views, you're seeing people commenting or not commenting, you're getting feedback from your peers, and it's okay if it's only 5 people, right? It's still feedback. Somebody's actually paying attention, and that one of 5 people might tell their friend, oh my gosh, I have a great realtor for you, and check out their YouTube or check out this video that they did. You just don't ever know where your content is going to get in front or who it's going to get in front of, right? So that's why you have to put it out there and do your absolute best. Because you just never know where it's going to come from. And like I said, the leads that we've gotten have been solid leads from YouTube. I mean, real qualified clients that are coming. And, primarily for me, it's buyers. Do you get sellers from YouTube?
Yeah, most of it's people that are doing research about moving to the area.
Buyers,
yeah, buyers.
Right? And what did you say your price point is that you found on YouTube leads? Because I actually find the quality of a YouTube lead is higher price point than my Instagram.
So your YouTube, you do a lot of luxury listings, right? And
True.
So it's typically not the first-time home buyer that's enamored with luxury listings,
Right.
And so the beautiful thing is, like, you can be whatever agent you want to be. And so if you want to be the downtown Orlando expert and you shoot a ton of content on downtown Orlando, that's who's going to call you. It's not going to be people in Mount Dora that are all of a sudden going to find you downtown and then,
Right.
hey, can you go out here? So that's why our channel is like very broad, and like we're trying to be experts around all
Right.
things Orlando because we want a little bit of everybody.
Right, and you have such a large team that you're looking to feed leads
Correct.
to. So there's areas of Central Florida that I wouldn't be, doing the villages. I don't want leads in the villages. I'm probably never going to shoot a St. Cloud video because I don't want leads in St. Cloud. So for me, I'm very strategic to the markets and the areas that I'm going to promote and talk about because that's where I personally want leads, right? So like he said, think about that. Do you think also that since you started doing your YouTube lives that you even skyrocketed more?
Yeah, so like we do a YouTube live every other week, and so every Saturday we do a YouTube live, and so we use StreamYard is the program. StreamYard because it's cool because I can go live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn all at the same time, and all of my followers there get dumped into one spot. So if somebody comments on the video, like I'll get 200 to 300 people show up live to listen to me talk about
That's great.
Orlando real estate, which blows my mind.
That's amazing. Yes.
There we go. The questions, this is one I got 3 times. Talk about orientation and when you shoot in what direction, and also professional versus doing it yourself. So I know you both started one way, but how often are you posting just professional stuff, and are you both still shooting things like selfie style on your phone as well? Talk about that a little bit.
Well, in my opinion, you have to still be posting selfie style. I mean, there's just, it's in order to be organic and real and in the moment, right? We do a lot of cool things every day in our business. Most of the time, I'm too busy to open my phone up, and I'm sure you are too, unless you have somebody there following you for the day. But you have to be able to pop it open and do it yourself, as well as hire a professional videographer. Definitely now on the content I want to put on YouTube, I'm always going to lean towards my professional videographer. Oh, great tip. One thing that you all are not and should not try to be is a video editor. Hire somebody, pay for it. You are a professional real estate agent. You are an advisor. Be that, right? Don't try to become the next editor and you're spending hours in the dark in your house trying to edit videos. Like, it's just not the best use of your time.
It'll also mess with your consistency.
Yeah, and think about what your value is. What is your hourly rate? Like, how much is it going to cost you to figure out this platform instead of sending it to somebody else, right? And the person that you could send it to or hire, their experience, their pros, that's going to come out way better. So I just think that it's important for you to realize that value and spend the money. But yeah, I definitely use professionals way more when I want to create a piece that I'm going to have live forever on YouTube. Because if I look at some of my old stuff, like I've hidden some of it now because it's very different than my newer things. If you go back really old to my old Instagram stuff, you'll still see some of those handheld videos that I edited on my phone, which aren't bad, but they're not today's quality. But to get the engagement, the views, the subscribers, you're going to need quality content.
So we still, everything on YouTube for us is with our professional videographer and editor, and then everything on Instagram, some of it is in-house. We do reels in-house, and then we also, but a lot of times it's selfie style, like let's shoot a reel, that's something that's trending. Yep. So what I'd love to hear from you is, how do you keep consistent branding across all platforms, and is that important?
It's so important. For me, your brand is everything, and that's one of the things that I'm big on preaching, especially within my company, is building your personal brand. I've been...
Can we talk about how you pick Your personal brand? I don't know. It cut out, so I figured I'd keep
pick
this thing
it?
going. Yeah, like how did you guys decide what you wanted to be known as, how you want to be known? Like the people who haven't really built their personal brand yet, what should they be considering as they decide what they're doing?
So first and foremost, the question that Ken asked regarding consistency across platforms. Yes, I don't want to be one person in YouTube and a different person in Instagram and a different person in Facebook. I think you need the consistency so that people build trust in you, again, right, that trust factor. And there's a stat, I don't even know the exact stat because I would botch it, but you know about how many times somebody has to see your face before they, will start to trust you or maybe want to talk to you, right? And people want to talk to people they know, like, and trust. And by building that trust visually and they're seeing, by what they're hearing on across platforms is so important. So whether it be your color scheme, the logo that you're using across all platforms, maybe something that you always say on all platforms. Like I was a big, hey friends, how you doing today? I do a lot of that. Hi friends. And when I close, I'm saying my full name, my company. There's just certain calls to action I try to always use for that consistency across all platforms. And then Aaron's question was, sorry, Aaron.
How do you choose that brand? How do you decide?
So for branding, it's really, I believe, it's not like I can just wake up one day and I'm going to be this whole new person. Who are you, right? What are the kind of people that you feel comfortable talking to? For me, I grew up in South Florida. I grew up around luxury real estate, and I was very comfortable in that space. I knew it. I mean, I've done things that made me comfortable there, right? Let's just say. So for me, it was easy to say that I want to focus on being a luxury professional in this field and speaking upon what luxury is in Central Florida, because I felt that I had a background there that I can share, right? So don't try to be something you're not. When building your brand, you have to also say, like, what are my roots? Where do I come from? What is going to feel natural? And, because so everybody wants to sell luxury real estate. It's a real thing. Why don't, of course, right? But you don't just wake up one day and sell luxury real estate. You have to also look and dress and do all, look the part and speak well and all of these things, because you're dealing with high net worth professionals. Like, they're going to be able to smell you out in 5 seconds to say, oh, this person is a fake.
On the flip, Ken, you moved here because you guys love Disney, right? I mean, that's a big part of your life. You're there. I mean, we see pictures there every single week. Yep. Talk about kind of like what she just talked about, but how you picked your brand and juxtapose it for me.
I think so much of what she said was powerful. I think you look at who is your ideal client and then reverse engineer that. And really, who is that? Who are you? And be able to kind of portray that to everybody and then be really consistent. So for us, like, we've kind of had the moniker of like real estate theme parks and life in Orlando. That becomes like our newsletter and our media company. And so then we're speaking to those things consistently. And so I'm not afraid to say, like, hey, I'm checking out for the weekend to go on the Star Cruiser with my family, and then document the whole thing, because that's what my audience is kind of already expecting anyways. It would be weird if I was like, hey, let me go show you the strip club scene or something like that, right? Like, that's not really on brand. And so I think about, like, who is my ideal client? I'm going to shoot content for them so that when they discover us, they get into our web and they're like, oh, I'm just like this guy.
Yes.
And then I'm going to consistently talk to
what you're saying is there's room for someone else to be the strip club Orlando
For sure.
realtor somewhere. That's what I'm hearing.
It's wide open.
It's all about authenticity, guys. I always say this. You have to be your true authentic self. And you're going to feel most comfortable if you're being your most authentic self, and people are going to attract you for that specific reason. But, like, listen, I mean, Disney's super fun, but, like, for me to talk about Disney, like, I don't have kids. I'm not really, I never, like, just like, I don't really know Disney like Disney, even though I love Disney. So it's not my thing, right? But again, finding, like, what resonates with you is going to be so important, and it's just going to feel so natural, and people will see that.
How many of you guys have learned something so far from these panelists? Make some noise, raise your hand. Don't worry, we are not done. I'm going to ask at least one or two more questions from the panelists, but I want to go around the room really quickly. I have nothing to throw, but we have a bunch of stuff to give away. So who here, let's get a few of the takeaways you've gotten so far already, because I know that they've been firing out golden nuggets like every 2 seconds. How many of you guys have a takeaway already? Yep, Rhodey. Branding is everything. Yep. Right here. Yep. Be authentic to yourself. Don't try to do anything for anyone else. Stay in your lane. Don't try. How many of you guys learned a tip on where to find the editor in the first place? Stay in your lane. Dave's applauding that one. Over here was another one. Someone had. Yep, Barrett. Consistency. By the way, just to reiterate, not how often are you shooting, but how often are you posting the content?
At least every week on YouTube. Once
Every
a week
week on
least.
YouTube, once a week?
That's
Once
the
a
goal.
week. Awesome. Yep, right here.
Absolutely
Both of you building
possible.
from how many of you guys got some inspiration realizing that both these people have pretty much built in the last 5, 6 years or so?
From scratch.
Here, at least, from scratch. Make some
Social
noise.
media.
By the way, we didn't even get into this, but Ken always shares this on every time we've had him on a panel. But for those of you that have never seen him speak on the panel, I got to at least let him plug this real fast. Ken, how much do you do from agent referrals because of your referral database of other agents?
Oh, we get an agent referral almost every day now from somewhere in the world.
So how much do you think you closed from that?
Last year it was 42 million.
And Tiffany, you probably have a ton of it too.
We do, and I want to tell you, the content you're creating is not just to find that random buyer or seller. It's to prove yourself to other professionals in the country or world, wherever it may be, that you could represent their client and do a good job for them. And one of the largest parts of my business is actually referral business that I capture through social media from other professionals in the field that say, I have a client to send to you. So again, you're not only posting for yourself, you're posting for that opportunity to get referral business. So again, be the educator in your market, be that professional, show up, and put your best self out there, and that's what you're gonna find is the result of referrals.
Stop posting your home snap awards.
Wait, say that what?
Stop posting your home snap awards.
Yeah, that stuff,
no,
it's not real.
I think, so one thing I would say about that branding piece, though, is like, if you guys are going on Facebook and friending agents from all across the country, and then you're consistently talking about your hometown, who are they going to think of when you're being massively consistent on Facebook when they have a referral to place? And really, that's where we started. When I moved here, I was like constantly at Disney showing, really not because I wanted Orlando, because I needed to own the mind share of the agents that were out there that I'm in Orlando. And so it's a really simple, easy thing that you can go do right away.
And another trick too, and I know you do this and I do this too, it's like you have to get out of Orlando sometimes, guys. We have opportunities like going to trade shows, right? Other networking events that are gonna put you in rooms like this, but nobody else is from your market, right? So it's like referral partner everywhere. So you have to also put yourself out there and learn and absorb information, but go and meet with other professionals. Connect with them on social media. Hey, I really love your content, or I would love to do a collab with you, or something like that, right? It takes effort still. You have to connect with these people. But again, if you ever look at, I love looking at, I always call my Instagram the first, as soon as you land on it, that's my virtual resume. Anytime I need to validate myself, I'm like, hey, let me send you my Instagram link, let's connect, right? They see me and they're like, oh, this chick does business, you know? She's legit. I use it all the time as my virtual resume. It's like such a quick way for people to legitimize me and say, I'm real, I'm actually doing business. So if I go to your page and I see your nephew and then your favorite burger, I may not initially say real estate. I'm very consistent on my platforms. If I post some personal stuff, maybe it's more in stories because I know it's gonna go away, but on my feed, you're gonna know I'm a real estate professional and where I work. Especially because I put it in my bio, which is so important. You know how many agents I bet I can go through this room, and how many of you don't even tell people where you work? So sometimes they take more effort, like they don't even know where you are. So put the information in your bio. These are some of the basic steps that can get you business.
Love it. Love it. By the way, real quick, before I ask them one or two more questions, I'm going to get one or two more takeaways from the room. But give yourselves a round of applause. We've raised $11.97 so far for Pet Alliance. How many of you guys like pets? Make some noise. If any of you are like, dang, we could have raised a lot more money, feel free to donate to it. Or feel free to reply to any of the emails or any of the text messages or anything and tell us you want to donate more, and I will get you a link, or my team will get you a link, so we can give you more to Pet Alliance. We're actually working on a pet edition of Orlando Real Producers. It's going to raise another $20,000 for Pet Alliance. I talked to Tiffany about putting her cat cash money in it. But if you want to be in the pet edition, come find us after. So one or two more takeaways from the room. Who else? Share your biggest takeaway from today. Somebody. Let's get two more. Yep, right over here. Buyers and sellers who know you are way better to work with. You don't need to prove yourself. You already did if they called you. One more. Let's get one last one. Yep, over here. Stop, scroll. Love it. I'm going to ask you guys a weird question. What's one question we should have asked you so far that we haven't asked? I'm going to ask each of you that, and each of you will ask the other one that question. I know it's a weird one. If you don't have one, I got more, but I figured I'd start with that.
Kind of an open book. I've already said all the weird stuff.
Well, I'll give some more tips, especially for the ladies. Other than hair and makeup, we also use Fashion Pass quite often, so I can go on and rent like 4 outfits. And I know that I only have to be seen in it once, and then I send it right back, right? So it's an easy way for me to not have to go shopping and spend money. And because once you're in, in pictures and video, it's kind of over the outfit for us ladies. So you can use Fashion Pass. It's a great way. There's other platforms and other sites as well, but Fashion Pass is great, and I use it all the time. And my marketing manager and I will pick, okay, you should go with solids, right? Nothing too patterny. Again, something that you're going to be comfortable with on camera, nothing too much cleavage or too short, so you're not always going to be adjusting it, things like that. So those are some quick tips for the outfits, right? Because us ladies, we like to plan those sorts
I
of
would
things.
have never thought of that question. How many of you ladies got something from that? Raise your hand and say, oh, yeah. Or just clap. Sorry, I split that in half. Hey, Ken, you got any outfit or wardrobe tips?
I was thinking about my cleavage. So I was just hoping.
Keep it in there.
Jeez, I'm sorry.
All right, well, this thing went downhill quickly. Any questions from the audience that you guys want? Or actually, Ken, any questions that you wish we asked you?
So I have this interesting thing. I know because you're so consistent and you've been building it for so long, there's a lot of people that buy followers on Instagram and TikTok. You don't do that. But talk about that, because I think it's a very easy thing. Like, as soon as you join Instagram, you start getting all of these DMs that are like, hey, I can get you 20,000 followers.
Still, every day I get them.
You'll just be like exactly like Tiffany. You'll have 20,000 followers. Talk about how that harms you.
It doesn't matter, because guess what? Those fake followers, they're not going to send you business. What does it do for you? Let me tell you, it can say 20,000 followers on your Instagram, but then what, 5 people liked your photo, or 10 people watched your video? People can see it's fake, like super quick. Not only that, but the algorithms of these platforms know that you're playing games with their platform, and they're going to push down your engagement. They're not going to want to promote your organic content. So you're truly only hurting yourself, hurting your page. And again, people are going to see that it's fake. I mean, what, you think that a buyer or a seller is going to look and say, oh, she has 20,000 followers, she must be good, but you have crappy content? Doesn't matter, right? It's the content. And again, the idea for me, it's not about how many followers I have. Now, I've been building this page since day one of my real estate career. Okay, so that's almost going on 6 years now that I've been building my Instagram. So it didn't happen overnight. Absolutely not. And there has not been tricks, just like with your YouTube. Right? How many years have you been doing your YouTube?
Almost 5.
5. There's no, it takes time and consistency, right? But it's important that you realize the fake followers, do not do that. It's only going to hurt you. And again, our goal is to get business. They're not going to send you business. They're fake. So focus on the real engagement. If you have one person like your video, go and thank them. Thank you for liking my video. Thank you for supporting my business. Every single person that comments on your posts, thank them. Engage with them, okay? And not 2 days, 5 days later, immediately. Instagram's going to see that in the algorithm. It's going to help. I'm sure. Does it help on YouTube as well?
And also, since you brought up tips for the ladies, and by the way, Ken, if this applies to you too, you can definitely chime in. How do you basically deal with keeping everything professional, or people that are not wanting to be professional on your page, on your social, things like that? How do you put them in line? How do you deal with that? How do you weed out followers? Who do you not keep? Who do you keep? That kind of thing.
Yeah, so if it's like grotesque or something like that, I'm just going to delete it. But if it's like, oh, this guy sucks on camera, why, he's boring, or I hate his hair, I reply back and say, thanks for helping my algorithm. Hope you have an amazing day.
Right. Yeah. So have you had to block people though that were?
Yeah, if they get a little.
We all have to, right? Yeah. We got the weirdest message recently. I don't know how people have the time to even spend writing a paragraph about their opinion on something that is so irrelevant, right? But there are trolls out there. They are real. Again, if you have to block somebody or delete the comment, it's normal. It happens to the best of us, right? But otherwise, use it if it's not super harmful. And again, thank them. I think we didn't delete that guy's message. I think we just thanks for we said something super snide, but
Who do you guys friend or not friend though? Because you're like many celebrities on the internet now. Who do you friend? Who do you not friend? Like, I know Tiffany, for example, it's not your last name on your Facebook, things like that. How do you guys separate business, personal, the mix of the two, that type of thing?
Oh, yeah, so again, professionalism is key to me, and I tell everybody that works with me. I mean, you're not going out getting wasted on your business in, social media platform. It's just inappropriate. Even after maybe a few too many wines, maybe you got to cut it off, There's certain things like, okay, here's a good example. I was a cheerleader for the Miami Dolphins. I wore this tiny little outfit, and I shook my pom-poms in front of 60,000 fans, and I loved it, loved every second of it. But let me tell you something. Am I posting bikini photos on my real estate page? Absolutely not, right? There are some people that maybe that's part of their brand. It's not part of my brand,
They're selling something.
They're selling something,
but it's not real
and
estate.
I don't want to attract that kind of clientele. I'm married, it's just not for me, right? So again, professionalism is everything. The way that I'm speaking on camera, sometimes, I understand the authenticity and the organic stuff is great, but if I look like a total hot mess, I may not be putting that out there. Again, I'm going after luxury clientele. The way that I speak, the information that I share, that's all gonna represent who I am and make somebody decide if they wanna work with me or not. And guess what? Sometimes we've all had bad days. I've actually had to catch myself talking shit on camera, and then I had a bad day, a moment, and I deleted it, and I was like, that probably wasn't good. How many people saw it? 100? Shit, let me delete that, So I'm very cautious, and I've made mistakes, because we all do. It's totally human. But be professional. This is your business page. This is where you're going to attract business, right? So I think that's really important for me.
Love it. Also, question I keep getting, and you guys have already talked about this a bit, but so many people are asking online, I'm going to at least ask you again, and maybe they want you to say it a different way. Talk about how you batch your videos. How do you actually do the planning behind batching your videos and setting up? How often? What are you doing? Is it scheduled? Is it structured? Does it just happen randomly? Talk about that part.
Right, content.
Yeah, so I have a content calendar essentially for the next month, and so I know which videos I'm going to shoot based on the keywords and sort of the direction we're taking our channel. And every week when I go out and shoot with our videographer, we're shooting 2 pieces of content, but I'm only using one of those a week because I'm going live on Saturdays every other week. So essentially, batching is just having enough content in the can that you can keep being consistent regardless of what happens in your life.
Right, if you had to take 2 weeks off, you're already way ahead.
Right.
You're not gonna, you can take 2 weeks off, not shoot for those 2 weeks, and still have content to post.
Correct.
Right, because you do that a lot. So again, as I was going to mention to you earlier, you've shot pretty much every community in Central Florida, so when you get to a place where you're like, crap, what's next?
Yeah, so what I do is I dig into other keywords that same people are searching for that has something else to do. So whether that's somebody, and your audience will help a lot of the time. If you ask, once you build an audience, you ask them, hey, what is it that you want to see next? And then they're going to start telling you, oh, based on this, I would love to see X, Y, and Z. The last thing I would say is just because you've shot an area doesn't mean nothing's changed. And so we do a repeater video on some areas every year, every other year. And it's amazing how the second time we do it, it's more fresh, it's more relevant, and we get way more views because YouTube already thinks that we have authority in that space.
Right. I love that because you're consistent and everything. And I want you to also think about, guys, is repurposing your content. So that's a big thing for me right now. Because I've just been so busy and it's been quite hard to be consistent and get the shoots done. So there's so much good content that I have now for years where there's little sound bites, little talking points that I can cut, make it into a reel, right? I can make it into a post on Instagram. It's still good information. It's still real estate relevant. So I can go back to tons of content and cut it out, and then put the little, verbiage closed caption style at the bottom, right? And put some music and boom, brand new content. Now I have a whole new video for a TikTok reel or reel on Instagram. I could use it on different places, maybe shorts. Do you use YouTube shorts? Because I actually haven't used them.
Not at all.
Okay, so you're only strictly posting videos.
We are, yeah.
No shorts.
Yeah.
Oh, and lives, and you're doing lives.
We do lives. So lives I think help a ton. Shorts, so every big content creator I know on YouTube has a second channel just for shorts.
Because they go onto your channel and they mess it up.
Yeah, so
they post,
it
right?
looks weird, and then you look at the watch time of a short is 60 seconds. Now YouTube's using that a lot of times as docking you on your watch time.
Smart.
That's YouTube 301.
So that's a good tip. So do you have a secondary to do shorts?
Nope.
No, it's so much work.
It does.
By the way, how many of you guys have learned something? Give them a giant round of applause. All right, so here's the thing. How many of you guys wish we could keep going in sessions like this? How many of you guys wish we didn't have to cut off right at 11? Make some noise. So here's a quick tip, and this is also for next month when we do the team building mastermind, which you should sign up for right now at masterclassorlando.com while the tickets are free before we start charging you. The truth is we can keep going as long as people spend money with Harry Buffalo. I'm just going to be honest. So like we don't force you to it. We don't charge more and automatically build in lunch. But if everyone here actually stuck around, or even better, if those of you that come every month didn't go leave and bring people elsewhere and you actually spent the money, like bought some food, or if you didn't want to buy food and you had to run, you just left a tip and cash on the bar. You tipped 5 or 10 or 20 bucks to the bartenders. I'll tell you right now, if the 100+ people in this room did that, they would love to have us here and they'd let us go till 12 even though they open at 11. So how many of you guys would love to go a little bit later at either this session or future sessions? Make some noise real quick. All right, some of you. So I just figured I'd plug that. The best way to say thank you to Harry Buffalo for having us here like 35, 36, 37 times, however many times it is to spend some money or leave cash at the bar, because they definitely don't have to be here at 9 a.m. on a Thursday. So one more time, let's give it up for the panelists, and I'm going to still ask them 1 or 2 more questions and let them talk since they haven't kicked us out. Give it up for the panelists real quick. This is your last chance to post things with the hashtag Masterclass Orlando and win stuff. Give it up for all 80 sponsors of Orlando Real Producers who made this thing happen. Make sure you meet them. They're the best of the best. All right, here's the last question I want to ask you guys. I want to know either the biggest tip you'd give people on where to start next or first. Meaning, like right now, when they leave this room, what is the number one thing you would suggest that they do first? Yeah, that's actually the only question. I think that's a better question than anything else. Let's go, you can.
So I would figure out who your audience is first. Who are you trying to go after first? And then reverse engineer your content from there. And so who's your ideal client? Area, think about like their actual, like, are they, single mom? Are they, total family of 3? They're like Disney, whatever it is. Reverse engineer your ideal client, and then you're going to start shooting content for those people.
Absolutely. And I would say if you don't own a gimbal, go and get the basic equipment for yourself and start just doing stuff around your house. Go do a tour of your house and then watch yourself, right? Get comfortable. So a DJI gimbal, buy one, or any other gimbal, I would say that is something every realtor needs to have in their arsenal, in their car every single day, because you can pop your phone into it. And then maybe a little mic setup if you wanted to. There's those the big stands that you put your phone into and you can stand in front of it. They're like $10 on Amazon. So invest a little bit into your supplies and your tools that'll help you start creating content and start playing with the idea of getting in front of the camera.
Love it. I got to ask you guys one last question because it came in and it's an awesome question. How do you springboard the videos into either listings or vice versa? How do you springboard listings into using the video for other marketing? Like, for example, like Shaq's home or other homes, or I believe you did a tour there as well. So how do you guys use either your listings or other people's listings to build the channel?
And by the way, collaboration is key, okay? We are all, yes, in the same market, but there's plenty of business for all of us. So help each other, collaborate. Listen, people are going to want to work with Ken for Ken or me for me, So we did a collaboration and it was great. We got great exposure.
Got 1 million views.
Right, it's amazing, But sorry, go ahead to your question.
No, that was the question. Is basically just how do you guys manage using listings to create collateral?
So we've created a channel around moving to Florida, but what if you wanted to do something about just life in Florida or life in Orlando, and that's all you were doing, great? So you're going to start building a database. Your subscribers are people that already live here, and when it's time for them to transact, they're going to be thinking of you. So right now, about 80% of the leads that we get are buyer leads and 20% seller. But what we do is we leverage out our listings our videos when we go on listing appointments. I'm like, so talk to me about the other agents you're interviewing. Do they talk about their content strategy at all? And they're like, typically, no. Okay, cool. So I've got, we're here in celebration. I've got a few videos, 8 of them that have hundreds of thousands of views total. And we bring in a ton of people specifically looking for here. So here's what I'm going to do first, is I'm going to go to those people that have already reached out, and I've got a targeted list of people that are wanting to line up and buy your house. You're telling me none of the other agents talked like that? And then we get into our value proposition from there. So that's how we use video.
I love that, Ken. So we do the same. Marketing is a big part of our pitch in our listing presentations. And, we'll have QRs in our presentation that they could quickly go ahead and look at things immediately on their phone. But yes, it does show that, look, we already have a video about Windermere, and I'm going after a Windermere listing, and I have X thousand views, and I'm able to tell them how I'm going to procure a buyer for them, how I'm going to expose their property because of the network that I'm, the following I have and the engagement that I get that I can prove through my analytics, which is so powerful. But something else I want everybody to think about is when you have a listing, the marketing is for you, okay? It's really for you. Yes, you want to procure buyers and everything, but invest in it. Use it, leverage it as your tool for yourself to, create a video that's going to live on forever. Do the best marketing that you can. So you have these gorgeous brochures, you have your virtual tour, all the assets. It's for you and your brand, because again, when you sit down at the next listing, you have these examples of your proof of success, right? So don't cheapen out. Spend the money. You have to spend money to make money. I believe that from day one.
Love it. How many of you guys, if I could convince them, which may not happen, if I could convince them, how many of you guys would spend good money to spend more time learning from Ken and or Tiffany? Raise your hand and say, oh yeah? If we did like a part day session with either of them or someone else that wants to do it if they don't want to, how many of you guys? Just a quick show of hands. Raise your hands really high. You got to convince them right now. Y'all aren't very convincing. All right. Sorry, they don't want to do it.
That's okay. It was fun.
It's okay. We'll keep all of our information.
Secondarily, April 21st, we're going to have this entire place full with some of the top team leaders in the city. You're going to want to go to masterclassorlando.com right now and grab your spot. Make sure that you are here. And let's give one last roaring loud applause. You can even jump to your feet if you want to. Give a standing ovation to our panelists this month and all the sponsors. And let's give it up for Harry Buffalo. Spend some money. They've got awesome Bang Bang shrimp and chicken wings and all sorts of good stuff. We're going to take a quick picture wherever Brian's at, so let's all come together. But thank you guys. Come out next month. We'll see you guys later.